Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. Miss Kanji here. Today we are continuing with leadership. I want to make a video on leadership management and governance, and this time around I want to look at budgeting. Okay, so please subscribe to the channel if you want more of such lessons. So today we want to look at a question on budgeting, and the first question there is define a budget 6%. Then B, describe 3 types of budgets. Then C, explain how the 4 leadership behaviors inherent with pathcore theory can be used to motivate nurses working in a ward. Okay, then the last part of the essay is describe any 5 types of powers and how a manager or a leader should properly use such power in an organization for if an organization is to succeed. It is 50%. So you find that the whole essay is 100%. Okay, so now please, whenever you are tackling a leadership and management essay, remember one thing: you should be able, when you read a question, try to rephrase the question. That is the first thing you should do before you answer. Okay, so rephrase the question and then answer it, and then make sure that please do not go back to whether the teacher taught you or not. This is just English. Just use your English and come up with words to define or write something about that essay or what that essay is asking you to write. Okay, so the first question is define a budget without you even being taught. If you see the first definition there, a budget is a financial plan that shows the expenses and revenues for an individual or an organization over a certain period of time. I just came up with this definition. You can Google, you will not find this definition anywhere. Okay, you might find maybe certain words that are put in that definition, but otherwise this is my own definition. Okay, a budget is simply a financial plan or a financial statement that has either expenses or revenue. Here you can even exchange those words maybe for cost. That shows what you have used, or what it shows maybe how you spend your money. You can use such words. Okay, how an individual spends their money, or how an organization spends their money over a period of time. You can even define it like that. It will still make sense. Okay, or you can say budget is a statement of the financial resources made available to a manager to provide an agreed level of service over a certain period of time. Okay, then our next statement is describe 3 types of budgets. Now for this one, you need to know the types of budgets. Okay, so the first one is operational or operating budget. So this budget is for day-to-day operation of an organization. Okay, so this is a budget for the day-to-day running of the organization. So it explores revenues and expenses for that organization and usually covers a period of 1 year. Okay, then we have volume or statistics budget. So this type of budget measures the workload or the activity. Okay, so this is like a budget that is addressed or that is allocated to a certain activity. Okay, so it is planned for the whole activity. For example, service to be delivered, okay, maybe laboratory or laundry for each department, or cost center for a budgeted period. So maybe if there's an activity in a certain area for that, maybe for a month, that would be the budget for that. Is a statistic budget. Okay, then another type of budget we have capital budget. Now this one is a type of budget that plans or that gives resources to buying things that are used or equipment that is going to be used in long term. Okay, so for example, you want to buy a building, you want to buy equipment, you want to buy land. That is capital budget. So the amount that is allocated to buy equipment that can be used over a long period of time, that is a capital budget. Okay, then our third part of the essay explain how the four leadership behaviors inherent with path goal theory could be used to motivate nurses working in a ward. Okay, so four leadership styles. What are the four leadership behaviors? We have democratic, autocratic, bureaucratic, and laissez-faire. Now, with these four leadership behaviors, the question is asking you, remember, when you read the question, try to paraphrase in your own words. Do not rush to answer the question. Paraphrase it. So if the question is telling you explain four leadership styles inherent with path goal theory and how it can be used to motivate workers. Okay, so you know the four leadership styles. Then what is a path goal theory? Okay, even if you have never gone to class or you've never heard of this path goal theory, the next diagram is going to show you what a path goal is. It's like a goal that you have set, and then this person will have to go through a path to reach that goal. Okay, so what you as a leader, you are a manager, let's say you are the nurse in charge, and then you have these subordinates which have just come on duty for the first day. How are you going to use the four leadership styles together with path goal theory to motivate those workers? That's what the question is asking you to do. Okay, so that's why you need to always paraphrase your question. Okay, so a path goal, you've seen the person there, and then they have a path. As a leader, you lay a path, okay, in which this person is going to walk through. It's like you're directing them, and then they need to reach their goal. When they reach their goal, they'll be motivated. They can't be motivated, or they can't reach their goal without you showing them their path. Okay, so what does the path goal theory state? The main idea about the path goal theory is that the leader takes responsibility for providing followers with everything that they need to follow their path to their goal. Okay, so just like the previous slide, where you have someone and you give them what they need to go to a certain path. That is a path goal theory. Okay, so the leader uses directive. So you direct the person, you support the person, you give them, you participate. Okay, you help them participate in what you want them to achieve. Okay, the achievement oriented leadership behaviors to motivate, guide, and remove obstacles depending on the employee and the environmental factors. So this is what the path goal theory is all about. So in relation to our question, okay, explain how the four leadership styles or the four leadership behaviors inherent with path goal theory could be used to motivate nurses working in the ward. Okay, so you know the four leadership styles. Now, together with the path goal theory, so let's say democratic, okay, and then democratic type of leadership is more about participative. This is a participative type of leadership. So how are you going to motivate your workers or your nurses or your subordinates to reach their goal? That is what the question is asking you to do. So here you make sure that you motivate your workers in such a way that if they participate in the daily running of the business, okay, they'll feel as if they are part of the business, and therefore they'll be motivated to even add more to the business and thereby achieve their goals at the end of the day. Okay, then autocratic is like dictatorship kind of leadership. Okay, so here this is where your subordinates need to do exactly what you have asked them to do. Okay, you are like a dictator. This one works more in an environment where your workers are always lazy, for example. Okay, you need to make sure that you are always policing them about so that they achieve the goals at the end of the day. Then if they see that, despite us being policing around, okay, the manager is always on our necks and all that, we are able to achieve the organizational goals. At the end of the day, they are even maybe rewarded for the hard work, which they were not even able to do. But because you were always pushing them through the dictatorship type of leadership, they will be motivated to even do their work at the end of the day. Bureaucratic, follow specific rules. You lay down the procedure, okay? This one helps to lessen, let's say, to reduce any risks, okay, so that people they follow the rules and they reduce, it helps people reduce making mistakes, for example. And this one also helps, let's say you have new persons, you have new lessons that you are guiding, you can tell them to follow the rules at the beginning, okay, then as they are growing, as they are knowing the routines of the work, you can now use in maybe other types of leadership. Maybe you can bring in laissez-faire type of leadership, okay, where you let them off, you like you are weaning them off, but with a little feedback here and there. Okay, so laissez-faire is more like, it's not really like you let them just work on their own without guidance. No, laissez-faire, this is where you can put you let your workers or your subordinates work, okay, at their own pace, but then at the end of the day you're supervising them and you're guiding them so that if they're doing wrong things, you give them feedback and they are growing. Okay, so that is laissez-faire type of leadership. So with this, if a person, let's say you let them be, they work and you guide them, they'll be motivated because you are trusting them, and thereby they'll reach their goal. Okay, so all this is how you are going to answer this question. Then types of power. So describe any 5 types of power and how a manager or a leader should properly use such power if an organization is to succeed. So you are a manager, bring up 5 types of power. How are you going to use these types of power? Or let's say you have people that are working for you in an organization and you have seen such power in these people. How are you going to make sure that this type of power is used so that the organization succeeds? Remember, you should paraphrase the question. Paraphrase the question so that you understand what you're supposed to write. Don't just rush to answering the question. Okay, so here we have the first type of power, coercive power. So this is conveyed through fear of losing one's job. Okay, so this power is obtained through threatening others. You are threatening, so maybe someone in higher rank will threaten those at a lower rank to do a lot of work in case, so you threaten them to say, if you don't do this, I'm going to fire you. That is coercive power. Okay, so now how are you going to make sure that you're going to use this power for the organization to succeed? Okay, so if you threaten your subordinates to say, I want this by this date, they'll make sure that the work is done at a certain deadline, and it will remove the laissez-faire type of leadership, okay, where people can do anything at their own time. Okay, then thereby the organization is going to succeed and things will be done on time. Okay, than where you have a deadline and people will take months to finish that whatever work that you have placed them, that you have given them to do. So this is good if you want things to be done on time. Use coercive power. Okay, then we have reward power. So this reward power is a type of power through that is conveyed through rewarding individuals for compliance with one's wishes. So this may be done through giving bonuses, raises, promotion. So here, let's say you have your company and your subordinates. You tell them, if you're going to work on this project within 2 weeks, okay, all of you will have 2 months off, for example. People will be so hardworking and they'll make sure that they don't sleep. They will take the whole night working on whatever they have to work so that they get that day off or those months off. Or if you tell them, I'm going to give you a raise, whoever finishes first or whoever brings in results, I'll give them a raise. Thereby, imagine if there are people who are competing against each other. You have teams maybe in the organization. One team finishes within a day, you give them a raise. The other team, in as much as they have slacked, the next time you give them that opportunity, they will make sure that they also get the raise. Okay, you are motivating your workers to succeed, and thereby your organization will succeed also in that direction. So this type of power is all about positive reinforcement. Okay, you want to give positive feedback. Okay. Then the other type of power is legitimate power. So this comes from having a position of power in an organization, such as being the boss or a key member of a leadership team. Okay, so this is power that is given to you. For example, someone who is voted into power, that is legitimate power. That's just an example. Okay, so they are in that type of power and they have the authority given to them and it is recognized. Okay, now that person is able to use such power to determine maybe the direction of an organization, and because that their power is recognized and it has not been forced on them, or they did not assume that position on their own, people will be able to respect that person because the authority given to them is legitimate, or it is recognized by everyone else, and they'll be able to respect their decision. So even if the CEO, for example, makes a decision, because the power that they have is legitimate, they'll be able to follow through and the organization's objectives will be driven forward. Okay, then the other type of power is expert power. So this power comes from one's experiences, skills, or knowledge or expertise. Let's say you are the only mechanic, okay, who has a particular skill such that when you just look at an engine, you even know where the problem is. Within a few minutes, you solve it. You are an expert in the field because of the many years of experience that has been gained. Okay, and someone who have power because of that expertise. You find that without them, maybe that job will not be done smoothly. Okay, so that is the type of power that you have. So with this one, they are able to solve maybe problems in an organization, and thereby the organization's goals will be run. People will follow the organization goals, and the organization will keep going forward because of the expertise of that person. Now, of course, these types of powers have got disadvantages and advantages. Okay. Then the last type of power is referent power. So this referent power comes from being trusted and respected in a field. So let's say, for example, you are a doctor, okay, or you are a nurse and you've been practicing maybe for 20 years, and people have come to you for asking for solutions, and you have guided them properly. Okay, you are now an expert and someone who can be referred to say that person, if you go to that person, definitely you get a solution. Okay, so this type of power, when others trust what you do and when they come to you, okay, you give them the solution. That is referent power. So with that type of power, you find that people will trust the organization and they will know that no, because of this person, You can, let's say you are a money lending organization, and because that person who is in that certain position is there and is known and is trusted, people would rather go to your organization and borrow money than any other organization which has just come on the scene. That is referent power. Okay, thank you. I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe and share. Please share. I know leadership has been one of the hardest courses. Please share, share, share.